Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our Eibar career mode here, coming closer to the end of the season. I think we probably have 4 more episodes left to play, somewhere around there. So, still a good 30 points left in the season to fight for. Right now we're in 6th place in the league, coming in against Villarreal. Definitely a game that we needed to win. This is not a game that we could afford to drop points at all in. None of these games really are, and at the end of this episode, the last game of the episode is against Barcelona, which is going to be a big one. If we can pull out the win against Barcelona, we should pretty easily, I think, move into 4th place. The problem is having a lot of these other teams actually drop points. It gets a little difficult when you're playing in La Liga. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good talent that is coming into the league, and here in the 11th minute, we actually almost got scored on. That was a pretty good chance for them. Somehow we managed to get the ball out, though, and pull a foul. So things are going okay in this series. Like I said, we're still in 6th place. It's very possible that we do end up staying in that place. Obviously, Europa League, not too bad. It's not where I want to be, but I don't really mind it either. We still have the final against Real Madrid at the end of the season as well. So hopefully we can win the cup and kind of solidify ourselves some silverware, because it's obviously not coming in the league this year. Main goal here is just to get as much money as possible so that we can go into the next transfer window and, just progress and make our team better, make our team stronger, do what we need to finally solidify ourselves as a top 4 team and a Champions League team in the world. So next season, obviously, we're going to be focusing on EuroLeague if that is where we end up. Hopefully it's not, but at this point I'm kind of accepting it more than anything. The team's not playing great. Escalante there gets a red card, so puts us in a really bad position, as the game was still at 0-0 in the 53rd minute. So at that point I kind of knew hopefully we could just keep this game as a 0-0 draw, maybe score a goal, hopefully off of a counter-attack, but wasn't too hopeful. Obviously never the right mindset when you're playing FIFA. The second you kind of accept your defeat, you put yourself in a really good situation to get scored on. So it was really just a defensive game after that. I kind of moved some players around, took out my center attacking mid in place for Escalante so that I could bring in another center defensive mid and just hope that the counter attack would work out for us. And here in the 90th minute, we managed to get an opportunity here with NOU. He just works his way into the box and just kind of tries to find somewhere to shoot, doesn't really see anything, tries to lay the ball off, and ends up giving it away to the other team. And so the game is going to end here at a 0-0 draw, unless this last opportunity was going to work for us, but it wasn't, ended up in our cards. So disappointing, like I said, nonetheless. Definitely a game we needed to win, wanted to win, however you want to put it. This was a must-win situation all the way around, though. With 1 shot, 1 on target, obviously the odds were not in our favor. Allowing them to have 14 shots, regardless of how many they put on target, just was not a good scenario for us. So I was just happy to get out of the game with a 0-0 draw. So coming up against Celta Vigo, surely this was going to be the game for us to grab some points, hopefully even close the gap a little bit for the table. Maybe, hopefully some teams could start dropping some points. We could start working our way back into the table. We could start, doing what we need to do, basically. So hopefully, the way I was looking at the team, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to play this. Some of these players I wanted to save because we had the Barcelona game coming up pretty close, and I knew that if anything, this was going to be why we weren't going to win this game, because I did play a second tier team, basically. Pulling it in and then having Werner in the middle, and then actually pulling out NOU and then putting in King and hoping for the best. We actually managed to grab a goal in the 23rd minute, as it just kind of ended up segueing into that pretty well. But Jamie Vardy manages to grab us a goal, and he really is kind of that key player for us. If he's playing well, the entire team's playing well. Him being in that center attacking mid position was a little odd for him, I know, but he was still performing well. That being said, should I have played him more at the striker role? Maybe, but having Ian Nacho, it's kind of hard to justify putting him into the game. But 5 minutes later, they managed to work their way up the field, get a free kick, and it's just a wonderfully worked corner, or not a corner, sorry, free kick. Just a nice cross across the box and into the back of the net. So we actually end up going into the second half at a 1-1 draw. And like I said, I knew if there was going to be a reason why we weren't going to win this game, it's because I played too weak of a team, scared of the Barcelona game ahead of us. Ideally, what I should have done is play my strongest team possible for this game and then just gone into the next game however I needed to, right? However it was going to be, I just needed to go into that game with whatever strength team I had and just basically hope that I was going to win that game. But as you see at the end of the first half, we had an opportunity with Werner. He's just not able to get that perfect touch he needed to get past the defender and have a shot on goal. So, like I said, going into the Barcelona game, obviously looking a little bit ahead here, but should have just gone in with whatever team I had. It wasn't going to be an easy game for me nonetheless. Definitely wanted to put our strongest team forward because, like I said, if I was going to win that game, it would have changed the way the table was going to work out for sure. Barcelona and Real Madrid are actually pretty close in the table, so I knew whatever the result was that's going on with all these other teams, it was genuinely going to change the way the top of the table was. I know mid-season it almost felt like Real Madrid was running away with it, but then they started just randomly dropping points and Barca was able to come back. But there in the 67th minute, they actually end up getting a second yellow and a red card, giving us a nice opportunity, but my free kicks just aren't there. Next season, we're definitely looking for a free kick specialist. We need somebody to come in and convert on those opportunities. I don't care how high or low rated that player is. If they have good free kicks, I'm bringing them into the squad. It's the only way that we're truly going to progress as a team. So hopefully we can make those changes here in the next transfer window. A lot of things, as I keep talking about next season, I know we still have like 3 episodes left, but at this point you just kind of have to start looking at next season. Which maybe was my problem with playing these games, is that my mind was already in next season. I was already ready to start the next season, bring in the players. I already had my minds and eyes set on some players. Here in the 85th minute, we actually managed to grab a late goal to give us the lead and give us a 2-1 lead in this game. So kind of a fluky goal, kind of a lucky goal, but Iheanacho just manages to get that right at his feet, kicks it over and just volleys it into the net. It was a beautifully worked goal and exactly what we needed, a little bit of a morale boost. I know I was kind of talking about this game as if I lost it, but it really did feel like that this entire game. I had no clue if I had just thoroughly screwed up this team by playing the players I did, or if I was actually going to manage to pull it back. So it was really good to get this win. It was really put me in a good morale boost going into this Barcelona game. Obviously, I played some of the big name players that I kind of wish I didn't going into the game. I kind of wish I would have been able to keep everybody on the bench and just use up my second team as much as possible, but it just didn't end up working that way. So a little disappointing to say the least. Here we have a little bit of training. Our center attacking mid, or center defensive mid rather, is doing pretty well in his training, up to 57 rated. Obviously none of the players still are going to be challenging for the top spot in the squad, so it's really just trading some of these people before I send them out on loan in the next transfer window, making sure that they can progress as much as possible before they get themselves into the starting lineup. As this season goes on, Iheanacho's been playing well, but he hasn't been playing great. I'm honestly looking at possibly selling him in the next window. He's not as high rated as I wanted him to be for me to be selling him. I know I can get him up to about an 80, 81 before I should really be selling him. So maybe over the off season I actually train Iheanacho a little bit just to try to get him as high rated as possible, because I do want to look at bringing in a top tier world class striker into the squad if I'm really going to start competing with Barcelona and Real Madrid. So that's definitely something we'll be looking at in the next season. Here coming in against the Barcelona squad, I realized immediately I'm playing against their full team, strongest team possible. This is the battle of the top 2 teams in the league, with Barcelona obviously conceding the least amount of goals, and over the last few games we've been conceding too many for us to really be a top tier defense, I guess, as Barcelona is. It's really only a difference of like 4 goals, but it was going to be a good game no matter what. I knew it was going to be defensive, at least until the back end of the game where both of our teams would start getting a little more tired. That was really going to be where all the action was going to be, but I definitely knew if I could grab an early goal, I would do really well. But instead of me grabbing the early goal, it actually ended up being Barcelona in the 22nd minute. Messi actually grabs the header and scores against us. Puts us in a really bad position there. It's definitely a goal that shouldn't have happened. Our keeper was in a perfect opportunity, or perfect position rather, to save that goal, but it just didn't end up working out that way. So here in the 45th minute, before we go into halftime, just wanted to work the ball around a little bit with Jamie Vardy, see if I could find a opening in the box, but they had like almost 9 players back, I want to say, defending the box. So it was going to be very hard, regardless of what I did, to actually grab that goal. Barcelona is just such a hard team to play against because they put all of their players back, but they keep those front 3 up, pushing the line as much as possible. So it's hard to put any more players forward without risking conceding goals. And, you know, obviously Arsenal being the big team that showed that in the past week in the Champions League. Disappointing to see, but it definitely shows the strength of this squad. It's a team that if you push forward, if you try to put too many players forward, you're going to just risk throwing too many players forward and just allowing them to counterattack you absolutely as strong as possible. And it's so frustrating playing against a team like Barcelona because 80% of the game they'll have the ball, and that other 20% you just have to use to your best ability. But that 20% you can't counterattack too hard, as I was saying, or it's just going to give you too much trouble. Here in the 78th minute, Iniesta actually picks up a yellow card, and as you see, they have 10 shots, we have 5. We had opportunities to score in this game, we just weren't taking the chances as well as we needed, and we actually give the ball away here in the 79th minute, and it was just a beautiful volley from Messi, from the outside the box. Just a beautiful strike, just launches it into the back of the net. Didn't think it was possible for him to score from there. Obviously it's possible, he's Messi, but like, surely not. Surely the computer will not take that shot against me. Surely they will not put me in a position where I actually need to worry about that positioning of Messi. Obviously I was worried about him in the box, but nothing like that. And then again, just another beautiful shot from another incredible talent that Barcelona has. Iniesta manages to grab a 3rd goal for him in the dying embers of the game, and that is where this game is going to come to a close. Just really disappointing all the way around. It's a game that I genuinely thought we were playing well in. Obviously conceding that goal early on kind of put us in a bad position. I knew we were going to have to be attacking for the rest of the game. Didn't know what we needed to do to grab the win, but it was definitely going to be a hard game nonetheless. And then they go ahead and grab a 4th goal. So even though I said that's where this game was going to end, that's what I was thinking, you know, okay, if we lost 3-0, it is what it is. This game's over. Let's just put our minds to the next game. And the second I did that, we just end up conceding another goal. Messi manages to get himself an assist off of, I guess, an assisted assist is what we'll call it. And Turan actually manages to grab the last goal of the game. So 4-0 is how this one's going to end. That is also how this episode is going to end. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This episode, these series episodes will obviously be up every Tuesday. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel to not miss an episode, and follow the other 6 series that I'm doing on this channel. So like I said, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.